Dot Studio, Agidigbo 88.7 FM. Welcome to News Around the World.
Good evening and welcome to the news around the world on the most listened to radio station, Agidigbo 88.7 FM, Ibadan. I am Olamide Badmus. First, the headlines. NCF calls for deforestation halt, says Nigeria lost 90% of forest cover in 30 years. IORAP's member condemns attack on research institute in Ibadan, calls for urgent action. United States says Iran threats to Strait of Hormuz degraded after strikes. Cuba refuses to negotiate president's term in talks with United States. State contingents intensify preparations for amputee football as third national para games approaches. Now the details. The Nigerian Conservation Foundation (NCF) has called for urgent action to halt deforestation, noting that Nigeria has lost nearly 90% of its forest cover in 3 decades and leaving less than 10% of the original forest landscape intact. The foundation made the call in a statement issued today in Lagos by its Director of Communications, Policy and Advocacy, Mr. Kunle Olawanyi, to mark the International Day of Forest observed every 21st of March, which underscored the crucial role forests play in supporting environmental sustainability, livelihoods, and national development. According to Mr. Olawanyi, Nigeria currently records one of the highest deforestation rates globally, largely driven by illegal logging, agricultural expansion, and urbanization. The foundation stressed the forests were vital for supporting agriculture, regulating the water system, and providing livelihoods for millions of Nigerians, particularly in rural communities, but however, said the sector remained undervalued in national development planning. The National Identity Management Commission (NIMC) has warned Nigerians against the circulating online flyer claiming that a free NIN data correction portal has been opened, describing it as fake. The Commission on its official X handle today urged the public not to use the portal advertised in the flyer for any modification of their internal identification numbered data. The fake flyer, which had been widely circulated on social media, bore the NIMC and federal government logos and claimed that the federal government had directed the Commission to open a correction portal following a high level of complaint. According to the Commission, the flyer listed options including name correction, gender correction, date of birth correction, and others, with links directing users to a strange domain, which is not an official government website. A rare day like yesterday happens once in a lifetime, as Cleric says it's a glorious day to be cherished. Agidigbo FM news correspondent Abiodun Loyede reports on reactions from people about the day's significance. Here is the detail.
As Muslims worldwide celebrated Eid al-Fitr yesterday, marking the end of Ramadan, many saw it as a global celebration of life amidst global challenges like war and economic struggles. Despite insecurity and inflation affecting daily life, people celebrated and we are grateful for the gift of life as they gathered for each prayers across the city, including at Agidigbo FM. Yesterday was significant. A rare day when 2 special prayers, Eid and Jumu'ah, were observed, which a Muslim scholar, Al-Hajj Abdul Majid Salam, described as a glorious day.
It will be very glorious for somebody that has seen this type of festival. In fact, we celebrate it more than the ordinary ones we used to celebrate. It's a grace. You can call it double grace for someone like that. There are times when you go to make Hajj, during the Hajj, when the Arafat do of Adia, Eid al-Kabir, fell into for another Friday, which you have two sermons again that's a bonus for the person. So we pray that Allah guide us and protect us so that we assist in a lot of this type of festival.
The first prayer was the Eid prayer, observed in the morning, including at Agidigbo FM, which was led by the Chief Imam Alhaji Yunus Zakaria. The second was the Jumu'ah prayer, observed in the afternoon, even at Liberty Academy Central Mosque, Ibadan, where the Chief Imam, Fadilat Sheikh Alhaji Aminullah Ajimati Alahu Aresegun, urged Muslims to sustain Ramadan's values of patience, love, and generosity. Also, residents of Ibadan shared their thoughts on the celebration significance with Agidigbo FM.
As it happens this year with Eid al-Fitr, the same thing will happen with Eid Kabir, that is Ileya. So it has a great significance because two utubas will be recited on that day, which does not happen until after 10 years. That is the significance. What we do once, or what we do twice or three times, which one will be more expensive? So this is the reason why it is very important.
It was said by our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that whosoever witness the two khutbah, they will be on a silver hand and they will be under the shade of Allah. The day where there will not be any shade except Allah's shade.
Meanwhile, a day like yesterday is one to be cherished. One should be lucky to have experienced such in one's lifetime. Abiodun Oluyede, Agidigbo FM News.
The member representing Oluyole Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives, Honorable Tolu Akande Shadipe, has expressed deep concern over a reported security breach at the Cocoa Research Institute of Nigeria headquarters in Oluyole, Ibadan. Honorable Akande Shadipe, in a statement released today, strongly condemned the act, describing it as a senseless attack on innocent individuals, while adding that security agencies and other relevant authorities have been swiftly mobilized to the area to restore order, secure the facility, and ensure the safe rescue of those abducted. The incident occurred on Wednesday, 18th of March 2026, when an unidentified armed individuals attacked the nursery section of the facility, resulting in injuries and the abduction of several persons. The lawmaker expressed sadness over the development, recalling that she had previously raised concerns about insecurity in Oluyole through motions presented on the floor of the House of Representatives, but noted that despite her efforts to draw attention to the situation, her warnings were dismissed by the current local government administration. Honorable Akande Shadipe further called on residents of Oluyole and surrounding communities to remain calm but vigilant, urging them to cooperate fully with security agencies. A school counselor in Ibadan, Ms. Moyolua Adiola, has raised concerns over the growing mental health challenges facing students in the region. In an interview with Agidigbo FM News, Ms. Adiola stated that stress, anxiety, and depression are increasingly common among students and can negatively impact academic performance and personal growth if left unaddressed.
Mental health is just as important as physical health, especially for students. Many young people today experience stress, anxiety, or depression because of school pressures and expectations from family and society. Parents and guardians must create a safe space for children to talk about their feelings, and students should also take time for themselves to exercise, journal, or talk to someone they trust. Early attention and support can prevent small problems from becoming serious, and it helps young people stay focused, confident, and healthy.
The counselor further attributed the trends to pressures from schoolwork, social expectations, and family demands, emphasizing the need for parents to create a supportive environment, monitor signs of stress, and seek professional help when needed. Now it is time to link up with our United Kingdom studio for the foreign news.
News from Kole Amza Studio, Agidigbo FM, United Kingdom. I am Dhikrot Fasasi. The United Kingdom has approved the use of its bases for the United States to launch strikes on Iranian sites, targeting the Strait of Hormuz. Downing Street had previously allowed American forces to use British bases for operations to prevent Iran firing missiles that put British interests or lives at stake. Although the ministers agreed during a meeting earlier today that the United States' use of British bases could now be expanded, however, the United Kingdom will still not be directly involved in the strikes, and the principles behind the United Kingdom's approach to conflict remain the same. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Arachi has thereby accused Sarkis Starmer of putting British lives in danger over the United Kingdom agreement to let the United States use British bases to strike Iranian sites. And that is the news from Kole Amza's studio, Agidigbo FM, United Kingdom. I am Zikrot Fasasi.
Welcome back. We shall also be moving to our Maryland studio, United States, for more foreign news.
News from Kule Amzat Studio, Agidigbo FM, United States. I am Oluwatosin Sonya. Cuba has rejected any suggestion that its political system or the term of its president was subject to negotiations and talks with the United States, following reports that Washington sought to remove Cuban President Miguel Diaz-Canel from power. Cuba's Deputy Foreign Minister, Carlos Fernandez de Cosio, told the press conference that the country's political system is non-negotiable and that neither the presidency nor any government position in Cuba is open to negotiations with the United States. Cuba said a week earlier that it had begun talks with the United States government as an oil blockade imposed by U.S. President Donald Trump drives the communist-run nation further into economic crisis, while Trump has stated he can do anything he wants with Cuba. Speaking to a group of foreign activists bringing humanitarian aid to Cuba, Diaz-Canel said Cuba was preparing for a possible U.S. aggression, adding that any external aggressor will face an impenetrable resistance. And that ends the news from Kule Amzat Studio, Agidigbo FM, United States. I am Oluwatosin Sonya.
Welcome back once again in the exciting world of sports. With just 6 days to the commencement of the third National Para Games, Abuja 2026, excitement continues to build as the amputee football prepares to take center stage as one of the most inspiring team sports of the Games. Amputee football, played by athletes with lower limb amputations, is a fast-paced and highly competitive sport that features 7 players per team competing on a reduced pitch, with players skillfully maneuvering using crutches while maintaining high levels of performance. At the Abuja 2026 Games, which will be held at the FIFA Goal Project pitch, amputee football will feature 2 medal events, drawing participation from teams representing the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory. Speaking ahead of the Games, the Assistant Director of the Parasports Department, Mr. Oladipupo Idowu, emphasized the significance of the event and the growing impact of amputee football in Nigeria. The third National Para Games Abuja 2026 is scheduled to hold from 26th of March to 3rd of April 2026 and will bring together thousands of athletes in a celebration of excellence, unity, and inclusion, reinforcing the message that ability transcends limitation. To wrap up the news this evening, here is a recap of the headlines. NCF calls for deforestation halt, says Nigeria lost 90% of forest cover in 30 years. Oyo Reps member condemns attack on Research Institute in Ibadan, calls for urgent action. United States says Iran threats to Strait to Hormuz degraded after strikes. Cuba refuses to negotiate President term in talks with United States. State contingents intensify preparations for amputee football, the third National Para Games approach.
Don't forget that you can listen to us live on our website www.agidigbo887fm.com. You can also download our mobile app on the Google Play Store and iOS. Simply search for Agidigbo 88.7 FM. Follow us on Facebook at Agidigbo 88.7 FM, on Twitter and Instagram at Agidigbo 887 FM, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you have news stories and tips for us, contact our newsroom on 070-8714-4865 or send us a mail on newsroom@agidigbo887fm.com.
And before we go this evening, here is a quick tip. The most difficult thing is the decision to act. The rest is merely tenacity. Finally, we have come to the end of the news around the world on the most listened to radio station, Agidigbo, 88.7 FM, Ibadan. I am Olamide Badmus. Thank you for listening. Good evening.
News is information, and information is power. At Agidigbo 88.7 FM, we bring the news from top to bottom.
The Oyo State government has said the over 1.5 million out-of-school children.
We give you reports from Oyo State.
The Oyo State House of Assembly has called for thorough investigation.
The Southwest in Nigeria and the rest of the world.
Has clarified that the body did not receive any cash support from international development.
Trust us to keep you informed every hour, every day.
Agidigbo 88.7 FM.